It's all about the database. You are listening to the right episode if you said, I wonder how I can get more consistent with reaching out and marketing to my database. I'm your host, Steve Kiles, and this is a Loan Officer Leadership Podcast. And so I just want you to know that I'm excited about you joining the conversation today because I think it's one that is really we just need to dive into this morning on the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. I hope if you've been tuning into the podcast or the community, the Loan Officer Breakfast Club is something that happens every Monday through Thursday. It's our gift to the industry. Frank Gouret, Carl White, Kristen Simpson, myself, we jump on a 30-minute call. We talk about what to focus on, what are some of the things that people are winning in, what are the activities, the daily success plan. And then, hey, what's the theme for the day and what's the activity to go do? And so today we were talking about database. And in Kristen's corner, something came up and it said, the poll question that we launched was, are you consistently making database calls? And it was, it was very interesting because out of everyone, 100% of the people answered, 23% said, yes, I love it. 43% said sometimes, but I wish I was more consistent. 22% no, but I know I need to. And 12% said, hey, I'm new. I have no database. And I thought, look, let me just jump on a quick podcast and talk about this because I really think this is the gift of 2024. Your database, your past clients. And for those of you who don't have a past client database, you may be saying, hey, look, I don't have a past client database. I'm new to the business. You too can have effective calls. And the day we do them in our daily success plan is Wednesday. Here's what I love about that. There is a process to prospecting. We don't wake up and say, hey, I wonder what I'm going to do today. But our calendar, which reflects our dream, our 10-year vision, our 12-month vision, our 90-day vision, and what our dream is accomplishing in this industry, whether it's financial security and building a team and a volume production and whatever that is, your calendar is what supports your dreams and goals. And so what happens is when I start looking at things like, hey, I know I should be doing the database, where 42%, 43% said sometimes, but I wish I was more consistent. Here's the thing that we're finding. The database is the easiest call because the whole purpose of the call, whether you're doing a quarterly check-in, an annual mortgage review, or an annual mortgage review, either one of them, look, the purpose of a database call is to thank them for the business. Here's what's really cool too. They've already got more than likely your number saved in their phone. So you're not calling random cold strangers. You're calling people that you've worked with, or if you're new to the business, people that are your sphere of influence, friends and family. We have a tool we've talked about. It's not ours, but it's a free tool called Covey Export, COVE export, and you can literally export all of the people out of your phone in a CSV file. And if you're brand new to the business, use that to be the sphere of influence in the people you call. But the purpose of the call is to thank them. Hey, listen, man, thank you for being a past client. I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to help you and your family purchase a home. One of the things we're doing in a strategy you've been hearing on the podcast is an annual mortgage review. One of the ways we're showing our clients how much we appreciate you is we're providing an annual mortgage review. That's where we go in and look at your current loan, current structure, current taxes, current insurance, and see if there's potential for savings. We're finding that 40 to 50% of our clients are able to save money in setting up or getting their escrows corrected, filing homestead exemptions, making sure their insurance is not being overpaid and there's not overages in the escrow account. And, it's such an easy call. If you're listening and like, I don't even want to do a mortgage review, annual mortgage review, don't. Still call. The purpose of the call is to thank them. Every quarter, call at least 2 letters of the alphabet. And that's part of our daily success plan. And, when I listened to or I saw the responses in the poll that we launched in the Breakfast Club this morning. And by the way, if you don't know what it is, go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. Check it out. It's a gift. It doesn't matter where you're at in the country. I was with somebody yesterday on the phone and they're in California. I'm like, you know what? I'd get up at 5:30 a.m. I'm in Central and it's 7:30 my time, and it actually happens at 8:30 to 9 Eastern. Time zone doesn't matter. The way I start my day matters and who I start my day with. So, all right, but a great call, Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Check it out. So here's what it said. Yes, I love it. The people that are saying yes, I love it, like Sharon, she jumped on the Breakfast Club this morning. She was sharing all the wins she's getting from Sharon. And, I just think about Sarah Cox, which you guys have been hearing her story, and Nate and Kenneth, and like all the people that we're talking to who are doing it. It's just a gift. It's easy. It's so powerful. But when I saw somebody put sometimes, like, are you consistently making database calls? Sometimes, but I wish I was more consistent. And here's what I wish I could ask you as a listener. Look, 43% said, sometimes I wish I was more consistent. Now, here's the thing to note. There is no shame. There is no, oh my gosh, you're not doing it enough. You're not good enough. Look, take all that junk out the window. This is about a tactical decision that in touching your database, you're going to hit your dream number, your financial freedom, your freedom point, your goals. I was talking to somebody yesterday and she was saying, hey, if I could consistently get above $10,000 a month in income, she's a 1 year in the business, closing 2 loans a month. And so we backed into her number, and it was literally, hey, all we've got to do is get one relational lead a day to close 4 to 5 transactions a month, which blows you past 10 and probably put 12 to $15,000 a month in your pocket. And when we were talking about it yesterday, when you start simplifying um, the practical step of how do I get one relational lead a day, and how do I get 2 relational leads a day? The database is something that's so powerful because they're just such easy calls. So when I saw someone say, hey, I wish I was more consistent, the first thing I think about is, what's your calendar look like? Are you leaning into your calendar when you wake up today? What are you doing from 8 to 9? What are you doing from 9 to 11? What are you doing from 11 to 2? What are you doing from 2 to 4? What are you doing from 4 to 5? And you may say, hey, listen, Steve, I can't drive 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I would build yourself a livable calendar, because when I hear things like, sometimes I wish, I sometimes reach out to my database. Now I know it's effective, but sometimes, and I'm getting pulled into fires, I'm getting pulled into all this other junk, I'm getting pulled into pooling conditions, I'm getting pulled into the back end, I'm getting pulled into managing the loan officers that I have in my branch, I'm getting pulled in all these directions. I think, well, the only way to remove chaos is have a calendar. So show me your calendar. Yeah, well, I kind of just run and hit the day as it comes. And that's the challenge. The reason there's a lack of consistency in something works, it's because your calendar doesn't reflect your dream and your goals. And so, what I love to do is I love to go in and build out what are the most important things to me in my calendar. Like, let me give you an example. Every Friday morning, you will not get me till after 9:30. Monday through Thursday, I plug in at 7:30, starting with the Breakfast Club, and I'm unplugged by 4:30 in the evening. But from 7:30 to 4:30, I've got something literally scheduled every 30 minutes because I want to be a good steward of my time. Sometimes there may be, like, right after recording these podcasts, I got a 1 hour D&B time. It's do not book, because I just need margin to go back and think through the things that I've got moving through the week. So living scheduled is not living so pressed that there's no margin in your day. You build margin by putting on your calendar what matters most. So, like prospecting from 9:30 to 11 for those of you who are with Call Stars, or 9 to 11 if you're not with Call Stars, or if you're at West Coast Call Stars, like every day, it's like a top producing realtor appointment. We don't miss our outbound prospecting time. Why? Because I've calendared what's going to move the needle the most for me and help me achieve my goals. And so, like on Wednesdays, when we do our database, it wouldn't be sometimes. Do you do it every week? Do you know how powerful it is? Yes, sometimes I do it, but I'm just not consistent. Well, if it's in your calendar every single Wednesday from 9 to 11, and you hold to the calendar, you've now got something that builds structure and consistency, so that you wake up and you don't say, do I feel like it? You wake up and say, I've got to do it because it's on my calendar. And you build in things, like I was saying just a minute ago, from you won't get me on a Friday till 9:30, because from 7 a.m. till 9:30. I'm taking my kids to school. We stop and grab breakfast. It's my morning with the kids. Now, Monday through Thursday, I lock in at 7:30, but on Fridays from 7 to 9:30, you're not going to get me because I have calendared what matters most. And whether it's family, whether it's prospecting, whether it's loan consultations, whether it's agent appointments, whether it's annual mortgage reviews, my encouragement is this: you got to calendar what matters most. And if you'll do that, 43% of the people said, I wish I was more consistent. Well, guess what we do on Wednesdays? We call our database, we call our sphere of influence. And when it's on the calendar dictates consistency because we show up and we execute the calendar. Here's the other thing. What was it? 22% no, I don't call my database, but I know I need to. And my real question on that would be why? As I was sitting here thinking about the two things, I know I should, but I don't. I do sometimes, but I don't have consistency. Or no, I don't have a database. I just think, okay, well, consistency is created with my calendar. Um, I don't, but I know I should has to do with this. Either there's not a confidence in the results, which I got to tell you, calling our database in just the last few weeks, we've had, I think we're up to like 8 or 9 relational referrals that have come out of calling our database just in the last few weeks. And what we're doing is we take those relational referrals and we give them back to our agent partners. Calling the database is going to give you relational referrals. It's going to start setting up your refinance pipeline. You're calling to thank them. You're reconnecting because of relationship. You get to build meaningful purpose in the conversations and check on the families that you've helped. So when I think about call reluctance, there shouldn't be, because these are gratitude calls. I know I should, but I don't. If that's a discipline issue, let's put it in the calendar and just show up. For those of you who are members, if it's, I know I should, but I don't, well, let's get on Call Stars. A part of your Jumpstart membership is access to 4 days a week accountability through Call Stars, which is remarkable. And let's lean into some of the gifts that this industry, like we've already provided for our industry: call stars, calendar, structure, the things that are going to make sure that you're consistent. And the results are this: if you're just doing your quarterly calls, we know that 1 to 3 closings per 100 people in your database is the result we typically see. So if you got 100 people in your database and you say, man, I would love to see another 1 to 3 transactions a month, how many of you would be a point of freedom? How many of you it would be, man, change your life if you're doing another 1 to 3 transactions a month just with 100 people in your database? And we got to recognize the results warrants the activity. How do I get consistent in the activity? Okay, well, now that I know that the results warrant it, then what's the plan? There's only 2 quarterly calls in your database, or right now a great thing we're pivoting to as well are annual mortgage reviews. Which, look, if you need to know more, go back to a couple of episodes. You can hear more about the annual mortgage review. If you're a member, go to the DSP and check out the Wednesday database. Or if you're not a member, go to freedomplanningcall.com and the team will show you what that looks like. The thing that we've got to know is, look, we've now got a plan. Then we've got to calendar the plan. Then we show up every day and we make the calls whether we feel comfortable or not. Why? Because in making the calls, we get better. Confidence doesn't come from planning, studying. It comes from doing. You get better when you take more reps. And when I saw the poll, I just thought, wow, only 23% out of 100% are doing the thing that'll help you move the needle the most in your business. So I want to encourage you, whatever it takes, take massive action. Do the right activity. Call your database. It's a gold mine for results. It's a gold mine for great conversations. They're the easiest calls you can have. And hey, listen, if somebody you're here and you're saying, man, Steve, I'd love to schedule some time with you and just dive deeper into the database or have a deeper conversation. Look, I'm available. I got to tell you, my greatest gift, there's a couple things we're rolling out. I think I may have mentioned it. Here in the next 30 days, we're going to roll out class number 2 of Jumpstart. I'm taking and helping right now 8 loan officers that were hand selected to go from 0 to $1 million in 90 days. We're doing a 12-week boot camp, and we're seeing so much success from it. I'm going to roll it out again. And you may be listening and you say, here's what the majority of the people in the class are in. Man, I was doing, 6 to 7, 8 loans. And then all of a sudden this last year, my volume just dropped. I was at 24 million and now I'm struggling to stay above 12 million. And I'll tell you this, it's been a great boot camp. I'd love to invite you on the journey. And if that's something you're interested in, look, you could do two things. Well, here's what I would say. Just book into my calendar, meetupwithsteve.com, meetupwithsteve.com. Find a 30 minutes on my calendar that goes directly to me. Let's jump on a call. Let's see if a boot camp would be something that's beneficial for you. But here's what I want to do, man. In this podcast this year, I want to go deeper in building relationships. My goal is to help you get over $1.5 million, $2 million consistent funding and really help you build structure. There's levels. So you got breaking $1 million, $1.5 million to 3 million, 3 to 5, 5 to 7.5, 7.5 to 10 plus million. And here's what I know. I can just show you some of the things that I've done in the last 28 months to grow a team from $0. Year number one, we did 57 million. Last year, we did 112,543,000, closed 392 units, about 32 a month. Best month being 44 units in a month. And what I'd love to do is share what I'm sharing on how do we do that? How do you go from a couple loans a month to building a business of significance that makes a difference in your business? So look, if that's interesting, go to meetupwithsteve.com. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I know there's a lot in this episode, but I got a lot to say. So meetupwithsteve.com. Would love to jump on a quick call. Hey, I hope these episodes continue to help. I'm hearing so many good things about the database. Keep sharing them. If you're on social, tag me. If you share the podcast or something good comes from it, tag me on social. You can always find me, Steve Kyles, on any of the platforms. And I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. Remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.